Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. China launching a stable coin. And how about Ripple, Ondo, BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan? How about an executive order from President Trump and $9 trillion being unlocked for crypto? How about somebody roll that beautiful intro?
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.89 trillion market cap for crypto. Market's up 1.8%. Bitcoin 116,000 plus. Ethereum 3,800 plus. XRP's $3.06. We're up 3.5 on the 24. We're still off 1.9 on the 7-day. Let's take a look at the range of price here. Range of price is ranging between 296 and 308. We're strong like bull, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a lot of great information to go over today. And in this next few months between now and November, let's call it the end of the year, we have some pretty remarkable events for Ripple, XRP, and crypto. But let's start right here first. And it's Caleb and Brown Crypto Brokerage. By the way, I love this platform. I love all the platforms that I use, obviously. And I never keep my assets in just one place. But I keep assets on this platform, and you can too by going to xrpwealth589.com. Listen, set your market orders correctly. I don't know how to set market orders correctly. Guess what? You don't have to. You get 24-hour human customer service. You can speak to a technical person. You can speak to a prime broker. What is most important here is that you're not in the dark feeling around for a light switch. I don't know how to do market orders correctly, and guess what? I don't really have the bandwidth or inclination to want to. I want the ease of use. I want the convenience. I want the free institutional grade custody. They have it here. And I'm not struggling about it, and I know you won't either. This is a remarkable opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around. They've completely eliminated the fear of losing my assets with the multiple layers of security, free institutional grade custody, and the fact that you can put special restrictions on your account if you'd like to. This is the kind of customization and customer service and safety and security that I'm looking for to give me agility in the market. Make sure you go to xrpwealth589.com and check it out today. Let's start here. Well, we're starting with a bang. Ripple announces a new acquisition this morning. Just an hour or two ago, Ripple said they are going to acquire Rail out of Canada. This is a $200 million acquisition, expanding leadership in stablecoin payments. Now, I did a bigger dive on this or explanation on this, but just very quickly here, Ripple has in the first video, Ripple has one of the most widely used digital asset payment networks in the world. And this acquisition underscores our commitment to helping our global customer base to move money wherever and whenever they need. Essentially, this is really going to open up the business to business rail right here is what we're going to see. Yeah. B2B rail. That's what we're going to see, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super excited, and this is getting good. They're lining up to turn all of this on for the new digital on-chain economy. That's what I believe is happening. And meanwhile, here's more evidence of exactly that. China set to greenlight its first crypto stablecoin. This is per Financial Times, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I was on stage with Chris Giancarlo and XRP Las Vegas 25 just a few months ago, and we talked about the danger of China white labeling the digital yuan and having other people around the world use it. And now we see that is coming to light. And boy, oh boy, is that concerning. But you know, I did have something to say here. Since China's getting in the stablecoin game, I'd like to offer a few names for China's stablecoin. The Gotcha coin, the ICU coin, the SpyCoin, which is my personal favorite, and then a few here from the crowd. So China coin, Peking coin, Kami coin, very good, Michael Croft. Bully coin, good one. COVID, Jack J called it. Oh boy, Tamu coin. Oh goodness gracious. You know, you guys, You're pretty creative. I do love the suggestions. I got to go with SpyCoin. I'm not so sure how many people in the rest of the world are going to want SpyCoin, but don't be lost on the idea that there are neighboring allies with China that will be happy to white label this over their own. So be very careful that this is not something to laugh at. Now, with that being said, take a look at this. Federal Reserve report just acknowledged funds from future gold revaluation could be used to buy Bitcoin for U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. I don't like this at all. The gold in Fort Knox belongs to every taxpayer in this country. And just because of a situation where it would be revalued doesn't mean you get to skim the top of the appraisal or the appraised value, the revaluation of it. Let's just say it's the home we own, a home we own, and it's at 500,000, right? And then they say, oh, we're going to revalue it to $1 million, right? Oh, that's great, but we're taking 200,000 off the top. Well, then it's not $1 million to me. You just took 200,000 from me out of my $1 million revalued home. That would take from U.S. taxpayers. The best way for U.S. government to acquire digital assets isn't to skim off the top of something that already belongs to a taxpayer. The way to do it is to issue from the U.S. government and Treasury is to issue digital asset bonds for Bitcoin, XRP, ADA, Solana, and others directly from the Treasury. This way, you're not costing the taxpayer any money whatsoever. In fact, you're going to allow the taxpayer to have a chance to earn yield on participating in that while the government acquires the asset for each bond sold. Now, with that being said, but we'll see. I'll keep saying it. It doesn't mean anyone's going to listen. BlackRock may file XRP ETF, says Nate Garazzi, the president of Novo Diaz. Well, he says it right here, and he's talking about the fact I do believe BlackRock will file both spot and XRP Solana ETFs. Maybe they're waiting for that formal framework to be put in place, and they're going to swoop in at the last minute and file for these, he said. Now, he's been pounding the ground on this, and I believe that they're going to do it too. And for no other reason than the fact that we know BlackRock is already working with Ondo Finance and Ripple by tokenizing U.S. Treasuries on the XRP ledger. So you're telling me BlackRock feels good with their BUIDL fund and the XRP ledger for tokenized treasuries, but they would stop short of a XRP spot ETF? Come on. Come on. You want to phone a friend? It's like, come on. And then a reminder here, right? While we see Ondo doing all the amazing things they're doing, the connections get even deeper with Ondo and the XRP ledger, like BlackRock's BUIDL fund, obviously, Franklin Temple's Benji fund, Goldman Sachs, Citi, and JP Morgan. All the same list, essentially, of banks that are saying they now oppose Ripple getting a national banking charter license, right? So, when I look at all of this, all I see with that opposition that we've talked about in the first video is these banks are just fudding and suppressing the market so they can do the things they want to do. You think they're not accumulating assets in some offshore LLC or something, or third-party subsidiary? You better bet your ass they are. So, I could see them talking their book and essentially talking their book, but just creating fear, uncertainty, and doubt more than anything so they can continue to make the moves until there's no moves left to make other than we're open for business, because that's what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And I have this video that I want to share with you, and it's Ondo Finance's CSO. It says Ian DeBode. And boy, this is something. And this is why I'm here. Now, I don't want to play the whole 8 minutes of it here, but I want to play enough of it that you get the idea, like I do, exactly why I'm here. We're putting traditional financial assets on crypto rails to make it available. And once they do this, it isn't about the idea, oh, well, they put it all on there and it'll just start happening. No, it's because there's efficiency in doing so. There's scalability. There's security in place. You get all of these things. It removes friction from the old system. This is why they would do it at all. So the fact that people are doing this already, like U.S. Treasuries on the XRP ledger, it's only a matter of time before the rest of the market starts to realize the benefits I just mentioned And then there is a cascading waterfall coming onto these crypto rails to experience the same level of efficiency, savings, and all the rest of it, right? So that's where we're at. Let me play a piece of this. The whole 8 minutes is amazing, by the way, but I won't do that to you.
The vision that we have for the next couple of years is that anyone with a stable coin is going to essentially be able to buy any US stock or ETF or mutual fund that they want 24/5, 24/7, being able to get margin on the assets they hold across different asset classes. We really want to break open the barriers that currently still exist for a global user base to have access to the financial products and services that they want. The challenges that we are solving at Ondo Finance primarily is one of access to the right financial assets and the right financial services for a global audience. The current existing financial landscape is incredibly fragmented. People do not have access to the assets that they would like. Think of a stablecoin, right? It was the first instrument that really gave easy global access to the US dollar to a global audience. Ondo Finance is trying to do the same thing, but for broader US capital markets assets, including treasury funds, stocks, ETFs, etc.
Essentially, the rest of the financial markets. See, this is why I'm so excited about the threshold we're in, the moment we happen to be in, that the Clarity Act is looking to be passed and signed into law by October, right? This is why, because we're about to see the rest of the financial markets tokenized, period, full stop. Now, what does it look like? What do the prices of these assets we've decided to take a position in, what do they look like after such measures of adoption and use? Because it isn't just about adoption, it's about adoption, and then it's what we do every day. We don't use the rotary phone anymore, right? In fact, I don't even have a landline in my home for years now. It's a cell phone now. You see, this is the transformation we're about to move into, where it isn't just, oh, they're adopting. No, the adoption has to happen, but it's about the everyday use 24/7, 365 afterwards that I'm really interested in, because that's when we start to see a brand new market with the charts look completely different, because we have utility driving this market, not just speculation. And speaking of speculation, breaking right here, Scott Melker says Trump to sign an executive order today allowing private equity, real estate, crypto, and other alternative assets in 401ks. $9 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, the size of that market. I say hello to the $9 trillion worth of 401k funds coming into crypto. Lock in. This is going to be incredible. This is just one sector. $9 trillion locked, getting ready to tap into this space. You think that they don't want some crypto exposure in their 401k? What? I tell you, all of this news, should we see it all come to fruition, legislation included becoming law, the rest of it, we know it all, the banking license for Ripple and Circle, right? The case ending, the ETFs approved, BlackRock's into, all the rest of it. And you're telling me that we won't see a potential setup for another 2017-18 style end of year breakout super cycle bull run? I don't know. It's looking like we could see a repeat in 2025 if we get all of those things, but only time will tell. And I can't wait, because the time is ticking, 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 and the clock is going down. This is getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we're going into the freedom zone. This is not financial advice from me or anyone else. Inspirational stuff in here. You know, it's one thing to get our portfolios built up to millions of dollars and wealth and all of this creation, which is beautiful. But at the same time, we got to remember to work on our mental state too, because if we don't develop our mind to have $1 million mindset and a very healthy mindset in general, the house of cards comes down quite easily. I hope you will join us. Click the link underneath any video. Join for free. Join. Get all your daily videos Google ad free, no Google ads in all the daily videos, and extra content like we're going to jump into right now. So come on in.